Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mountain Lake Journal. I'm Tom Halleck. We begin this week with the on-again, off-again tariffs. It turns out some did kick in last week on Canadian goods not covered under the USMCA trade deal. And Canada has retaliated, slapping 25% tariffs on some American goods, which Canadian shoppers discovered on their return trip home. Also this week came 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum that President Trump ordered be double to 50% for Canada. That after Ontario slapped a 25% tax on electricity it sells to New York, Minnesota, and Michigan. Premier Doug Ford then agreed to lift the tax after the White House agreed to a face-to-face meeting in Washington later this week, with the president taking to social media once again to call for the annexation of Canada. With all the uncertainty and animosity, there has been a noticeable drop in the number of Canadians crossing the border into the U.S. in the past month, down nearly 25% at land crossings in February.
It is having direct impacts here in Plattsburgh. We are already hearing from our Canadian friends that they are changing their summer plans and their fall vacation, that they are not planning on necessarily coming down to the region. We are seeing less license plates at some of the mainstays in our region where people go shopping on a regular basis.
And businesses are preparing to feel the impact of the tariffs. Building supply stores like Ward Lumber in Jay import most of their framing timber from Canada. CEO Brian Mellick says the tariffs will force them to raise their prices, likely within a few weeks.
Our Canadian suppliers have already indicated they're giving a 25% increase across the board, and so we're prepared for that. I would say if we have a 25% change right today from our competitors, we might put in a 10% increase, and that may get reflected over the next few weeks.
Concerns and uncertainty over the 25% tariffs were front and center at the North Country Chamber of Commerce's State Legislative Forum held this past week.
So our business community understands that a mistake is being made, a very serious mistake.
The annual forum lets business and community leaders hear from the North Country state lawmakers on major issues of the legislative session in Albany, including the budget. This year, that included the tariffs.
I am fully against the tariffs, full stop.
There isn't an industry in my district that isn't going to be impacted by the tariffs.
And while State Senator Dan Steck says that it was unfortunate that the U.S. had to resort to tariffs, he says the flow of illegal fentanyl and migrants from Canada across the northern border could have been addressed to prevent the tariffs from being put in place by President Trump.
He feels it's necessary to dial it up a notch. What's unfortunate for us in the room is that we are 5 miles or so from the Canadian border, and it's going to impact us more than it will people in Warren County or people in Saratoga County.
Plattsburgh Town Supervisor Michael Cashman says even though some of the tariffs have been delayed again until next month, the effects are already being felt in border communities.
Tariffs have arrived, and it is going to have a sweeping impact across all sectors.
Cashman says the region gets about $1 billion in economic benefit every year from its relationship with our neighbors to the north.